common theme in our stories and stories in the Bible is bondage to freedom, fear to courage, hatred to love and forgiveness, and greed to self-sacrifice. In order to move from bondage to freedom, you have to go through the reality of suffering, and this is known as the wilderness period. Suffering is indispensable in finding a meaning in life. Suffering will come to you without your choice, as it is inescapable. To be fully human is to experience suffering. The cross is a well-known symbol of this. Jesus did not see suffering as a result of sin. Suffering was a part of his ministry. For example, Jesus said to the blind man, "This is no one's sin. This is to glorify God." Glorifying God means going from the bondage of blindness to the freedom of being able to see. There are 4 kinds of suffering: suffering of loneliness, suffering of one's own limitations, suffering of temptation, and suffering of fear. Pain is a part of human life. True happiness requires you to seriously reconsider the reality of suffering. Pain is a part of happiness, and pain is a part of human life. We naturally avoid suffering. However, let us be courageous. A life of running away from suffering becomes passive and meaningless. The worst of all suffering is the feeling that God has abandoned you. But we fall into despair and bitterness if we cannot avoid suffering. People have a naive idea that if I'm good, bad things will never happen to me. This is a fantasy. People fantasize when they undergo periods of suffering. When something bad happens to us, we automatically assume we did something wrong. For more content, go check out part 2 of Bondage to Freedom.